Hey guys, it's Anthony. So just wanted to talk a little bit about the United States versus Mexico game. What a game. United States wins 2-0 with the chance of 2-0, 2-0. Now, be honest, I like both these teams. I'm not going to lie. I'm Mexican and I'm American. So when this game comes on, I especially like it. I get excited about whoever wins and whoever's being dominant. And I have to be honest, United States has beaten Mexico the last two games, so within the same year. Some of those for hardware. And this game, I wasn't so confident that United States was going to beat Mexico, as, to be honest, Mexico was leading the CONCACAF table, right? So when you're looking into going to the World Cup, you'd have the World Cup qualifiers, and only the top three go to the World Cup. As it stood, we were second place behind Mexico. So then we go up to play them, which is super dope, right? Because you get a chance to beat the top place person as Americans to get in. Currently, United States and Mexico are both tied at 14 points. Now, everyone gets excited. Oh, America's good. Oh, Mexico's guaranteed to go. Canada's in third. No. Understand that for the United States, which I assume is for all other teams, they have 7 more games. And with 3 points for a win and 1 for a draw, anything can happen. Currently, United States and Mexico have 14 points. Canada has 13 points. And Panama has 11. After that, it's Costa Rica, Jamaica, El Salvador, and Honduras. So, what's happening is, guaranteed the top 3 go. Now, what's more important about that game than where it all falls down is that United States has really been, this year has been dominating Mexico. And United States has actually been playing with some fire for once. And I don't mean to insult. I know there's a lot of American fans who think United States is always doing a great job. They have played some crappy ball the last 3 years ago and on, and going into the World Cup. They didn't have any heart. They didn't have any soul when they played. And that is why it's so important to see the guts and the fire these guys are putting into the game. Okay? Really. United States is finally playing with some balls. United States, I know, and Pulisic, right? He's supposed to be the torchbearer. He's the number 10, and it's important for him to lead, right? And we know he was playing in that game where we did not make it to the World Cup qualifier. We did not go to the World Cup because the last time we just laid an egg. Well, in this situation, the last time United States and Mexico met up, Pulisic scored, and he went and he taunted the crowd screaming. Now, take in mind, usually in the United States, when Mexico and USA play, there's either more Mexican fans or equal to American fans. So he was taunting them. They started throwing bottles. By the way, I'm not really mad at that. I think the passion from the crowd is fine. I'm all for the fire. He knew what he was doing by taunting the crowd. And this game, when he scored after coming off the bench in the 65th minute, I believe, and he gets way across into him and he does a backdoor header, which was absolutely beautiful. He puts it in, he runs, and he lifts up his shirt. And when I was watching the game, I was thinking, what is he doing? What is he doing? Turns out, on a shirt underneath his jersey, he wrote "Man in the Mirror." Well, obviously, not to mention, it's a Michael Jackson song, which is probably one of the greater songs of all time. He was referencing Ochoa, the keeper. Now, what he said before the game was that United States is trying to, quote-unquote, mirror Mexico, El Tri. And that wasn't taken very well, apparently. Now, the United States coach made it very clear that he felt like Mexico was disrespecting the United States by saying that we're trying to mirror them. And he said, well, and I don't know the exact quote, but essentially that they have not earned Mexico's respect yet. And he was, come to find out, when he lifts up his shirt, not only did Pulisic keep on goading the energy, getting that fire in his belly, but he was pissed off and proud of his country, which he should be. And I was proud to see that we have a leader, a number 10 on the American team that is playing with some fire. Because Mexico always has that fire. Always. Now, they may come out flat sometimes, but that's a proud team. So to find the United States finally playing with the I like to see it. And even after the game, I think the United States soccer team's Twitter handle came out and did a partial quote to They put out a quote of Man in the Mirror and showed the picture of him lifting Man in the Mirror on his shirt. So it shows that it's not just the leader of the United States. It's not just the club, but they are fired up. They're finally playing with some passion. And this team has lacked that for a lot of years. And Mexico, once again, I know they lost the game. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound. Mexico's a legit team. Mexico was legit last World Cup. Went in there and took a W away from Germany, right? Like, we're talking about some serious... Mexico's no joke. United States has beaten them 3 times this year. That's kind of crazy. And to beat them 2-0 with Pulisic scoring around like the 74th minute, and then Weston McKennie putting away, it just kind of fell to him and he put it away backdoor. To win 2-0 with Mexico is a big deal. Now, this game was played in Cincinnati, Ohio, which essentially was the first time I've ever seen so many American fans opposed to Mexican fans. Now, there were some empty seats. I shouldn't say empty seats, but every seat was not filled. But usually it's split 50-50 or Mexico has more fans. So Cincinnati, Ohio turned out to be an American-dominated game. So the players literally had their supporters at their back, keeping them going. Now, here we are, you guys, just telling you America's playing with fire. It's really good to see. Mexico will rebound, and understand, United States and Mexico play again in the World Cup qualifiers, I think March or so. I would need to look up the exact date, but we don't have a lot of time before these two teams play again. So I'm sure this is not the last that we have heard from Pulisic or Mexico or Ochoa. I believe this rivalry will continue to grow, and these two teams, it's very healthy to have a feisty rivalry. This is great. It's good for the game. It's good for the players. You need to show some balls. These people need to start playing with some heart. None of this, tippy-tap stuff. You need to actually get it done. And if you're fighting for your country like Mexicans and Americans are, it should be all or nothing. Every single game. Now, you can get some reviews of this game. I'm sure a lot of you saw that, but what's important to see is that America's actually playing with some fire. Mexico will be back, and I'm hard pressed to think that Mexico doesn't come through with. I mean, they should go to it'll probably be United States, Mexico, and it could be anybody, but probably Canada, which is a good thing. Well, I shouldn't say it's a good thing, but it does tee up the next World Cup, right? We have the World Cup coming up in Qatar 2022 for the winter of next year, and then 4 years later, United States, Canada, and Mexico are gonna all co-host the World Cup. So it would be, these teams are gonna be a focal point for 4 years from now. But it's good to see. I like to see the rivalry. I like to see the energy. I hope everyone is doing great. Watch these two teams. If you ever find United States and Mexico are playing on the calendar, you make that a date night. You make that a party night. You make that a drinking with your buddies night, because those are always good games. Both teams are impressive, and I'll talk to everyone soon.